Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Agile Network India's December 2021 events. And I'm happy to begin the first session of the day by Kolkata chapter. It is going to be about transformations and fear, a road to mindset change. It sounds to be an interesting topic, and I'm sure we all have a lot of questions around this. And we have Polumi Nath, who is Agile coach at TCS, going to share her experiences about this same. Without any further ado, let me call upon Polumi on a microphone and webcam. Hi, Polumi, over to you.
Hi, Nupur. Thank you. And thank you, Agile Network India, for giving me this opportunity to address this August gathering. And so this topic is somewhat very close to my heart. And honestly, I'm just like scraping through the very top of the iceberg on this change or what I'm trying to present. Both transformations and the emotion of fear are very, very vast and deep aspects in themselves. And what I'm trying to do today is provide you with a glimpse of how these two work and what can we do so that they transformation and fear do not become, or rather fear doesn't become a roadblock in the transformations that you are taking up. It can be personal, it can be digital. So in the IT industry, we normally, whenever we think of transformations, we are thinking of digital transformations. But honestly, transformations happen every day in our lives. It can be natural, it can be physical, it can be in our workplaces. Uh, Beyond IT, there are a lot of transformations going, business transformations happening. And every time there is an initiation of a transformation, a fear factor is associated with it. So we will take these two very important blocks and try to understand a little bit on how mindsets work and how we can at least have a go at resolving this, I won't say problems, but resolving these emotions from a negative connotation to a positive connotation. So let's start with knowing what is a transformation. Now, a transformation is by definition in the dictionary is an extreme and a radical change. So it can be an abrupt change. Say, for example, a volcanic eruption has happened and it has terraformed the area around. So that's traumatic. That's a radical change. If there's traumatic, there is transformation, but there is nothing we can do about it. It's very sudden. So that kind of a transformation will have primal fears associated with it. And we will not talk about those transformations in this session. However, the transformations that we will talk about or try to understand in this session would be radical changes, extreme changes, but which happen gradually, which are induced in your system in a slow manner. In nature, it comes in slow manner. It has been there for eons and times immemorial. So let's look at some examples. So this is an example of a metamorphosis of a moth to a butterfly. Now this transformation is very inherent part of nature. Here, nature gives time and environment and the right set of natural occurrences for the moth to become a butterfly. And what a transformation! A moth, when you look at it, it's very it's not a very impressive something to look into. But when it becomes a butterfly, it is probably one of the best sights in the world. If you are an insect lover, that's the best sight you can have of a butterfly. They are colorful and they are transformed, and actually they transform the nature around them. The other one is a tree. Say, for example, there is someone who is planting a seed. So just by planting a seed, it won't become a tree. So the person has envisioned something that it would bear fruits like apples, mangoes, or something, and that seed has been planted. But to make it grow, to become a tree, fruit bearing tree, there is a lot of effort that goes on uh, with the process of growing. No one actually pokes the sapling to grow. It is uh, it is natural. The environment is provided, the right amount of manure, the right amount of uh, water, sunshine. That is what is required for the tree to grow. And the gardener actually provides some of them. So in transformations also, there are people who are supposed to provide the right environment for the transformation. If you look at our world, if you do not have the right set of tools and the right set of environment, a safe environment where you can voice your thoughts, the transformation would not happen. You would fall back to old habits and continue doing so. So even nature tells us that to have a transformation, uh, you need to have the right amount of uh, planning, the right amount of environment, the safety situation. So, for example, if all moths were eaten up by someone, a predator, then there would never be a butterfly. So, the right set of environments, safe environments are also provided, or mechanisms are also provided by nature. Moving forward from here, let's see what are the stages of transformation. Now, any transformation, as I suggested, is a recurring cycle of a change. So even if after getting transformed, you are into a new form, or there is a new way of working, it doesn't stop there. Even in your body, when you are transforming from being a baby to an old person, every day that change or every periodical change is noticed. The change is noticed and it's a recurring cycle. It doesn't stop there. In this digital world, from the world where I belong, in my work life, transformation, when we take up, it doesn't stop at once we have adopted. It goes on going, happening. It's a recurring cycle. The moment you stop changing is the moment that product is dead. Similarly, in nature also, the moment a body stops changing, your cells stop multiplying, or you stop growing old, you either become an alien or you are a dead person. So aliens, I won't go into aliens, but if the change is not there, then whether it's a product, whether it's a person, whether it's a butterfly, it dies. So transformation, though it is permanent, uh, by nature or by the laws of nature, if change has stopped happening, it is the end of the road for that transformation. Now let's look at, now I'll focus more a little bit on digital, because again, that's where my experience lies, digital and agile. So we say that there are four stages of transformation: being envisioning what the change would be, then engaging people for it, then going through the transformation uh, as a whole, and if it works for us, then optimizing. If the change that we envisioned doesn't work after we have engaged the right set of people, or it isn't bringing value, then the transformation dies there itself. Only when it starts bringing value to your system, the transformation is called successful, and we start optimizing on it. So this is the cycle. Like, you envision, that is, there is a change, or a sense of urgency that is there. For example, I read a book called My Iceberg is Melting. It is on organizational change management, and it took the example of penguins. So it was a colony of penguins, and one of the penguins understood while scouting that their iceberg is melting from within. So that created a sense of urgency. So if there is no urgency, or if there is no case for a change, then the vision doesn't come. We will only change if there is a need for a change, in a sense that, uh, say your business has stopped changing, so your market is gone, then there is no sense of urgency, or no one will envision to do something else. So that is very essential, that we understand why we are changing. The why part of it is very necessary when you are envisioning for a change. Once that vision is there, it's very important to communicate that vision. Communication, because we are all people, we depend on communication. Come what may, the first people, our ancestors, if they hadn't communicated with each other, uh, probably we would still be living with Neanderthals, or Neanderthals would have finished the Homo sapiens off. So communication was a key why Homo sapiens, to a great extent, survived. So once you have a vision, it's very important that you communicate the vision, and you empower people, the people around you. Be the leader, empower your people to act on that vision. When you have enough volunteers to support your vision, then you start working on how things will work. Now, you cannot strategize a transformation. Honestly, there are a lot of strategies, frameworks, and everything is available. But culture, it's strategy for breakfast. And that's what I have seen across all the transformations that I've seen. So always remember, when we are trying to go through stages of transformation, and we have actually interested people who are ready to take the vision forward, it's imperative to understand uh, what the culture of that organization is, how they have worked so far, and what are their pain points. Only if you are able to work on their pain points and show value, that, say for example, someone has been working for 12 hours and they say this is the culture of the company, but whatever they might say, it is not healthy. You go back to that person's family, you will find some discord because he's working so late. You go back to his doctor would be saying that, okay, these are the health problems he's having. You If you talk to him, you will also understand that he's mentally fatigued. So these are the pain points probably that person already has, because of the culture of the company having 12 hours, 14 hours as working culture. There you start working through the culture to make sure that these pain points are alleviated, so that he finds value. He's able to create a space for himself. Once those behavioral change comes, then technology and processes aid in the transformation, aid in helping you build what your vision was, how you want to go about. And if that sustains, if you are able to maintain it for a period of time, and you are able to continuously induce the culture of change, then you slowly start optimizing, which is actually more related to sustainability of a transformation. You institutionalize and you create the stability. However, the mindset that should have come till that time is the mindset of change. So people should not associate change with something that is going to ruin their life. They should be able to associate change that will improve their lives. And to change, there can be experiments that can fail, and that is absolutely okay. In this world, uh, in the work life, whatever we have, uh, we often hear about psychological safety. And when we are taking transformation initiatives, it is our duty as coaches, as leaders, as servant leaders, as we call them now, to make sure that psychological safety is present in the environment. It is psychological safety is not person specific, it's environment specific, culture specific. Moving on, so we now know what are the stages of transformation and how it works. And again, this is a very brief glance. Any questions, I will definitely take it on during the question answer session. To build any house, pillars are required. Consider transformation as a house. And this house operates on four basic pillars: people, process, technology, and business. Each one of them is dependent on the other for this transformation to succeed. Today, my focus would be on people. So, people is the, let's say, is the first pillar of transformation, because whatever we do is by the people, for the people, and from the people. So, the vision comes from the people. It is done by the, it is taken into a fruitful state by the people, and whatever is being done is for the people. So Lincoln correctly called out transformation when he said that uh, famous words: for the people, by the people, from the people. And we in transformation also believe it, that everything is centered around people. And to help people in achieving something, we set up a few ways of working, which is called process. Now, whenever we hear process, the first thing that comes to mind is quality assurance. No, process is not quality assurance. Quality assurance is part of a process, but process itself is nothing but a way of working. And to aid that way of working, we use in the IT industry and as well as elsewhere, we use technology to support it. And technology is not only software. Technology can be anything. Manufacturing is a technology. Civil is a technology. Building houses needs technology. So, to aid people achieve their dreams, we define some ways of working, and to aid, which is process, and to aid ways of working, we need technology to support us. And to feed everything of this, we need business to evolve. So there is a business demand for building a house, and the house is being built for the people that will live in the house. There is a way of working which revolves around building that house, and to do that we need civil engineers, manufacturers, and whosoever not to build that house. So each of these pillars are tied to each other. However, people is a factor. Now, when we come to people, the first and basic thing that we have to work on is the mindset. And honestly, a mindset is built from childhood. In India, so we did a summit called Change Agent Summit for a different organization. And when we took those inputs from the leaders that have come, the coaches that have come, and that was India specific, we found out that in India, people are not uh, free enough to speak up. And when we delved a little deeper on the psychological aspect of it, what we understood is that we have been under rulers for a very long time, be it imperial rule of the British colonials, or be it the rule of Mughals, whosoever, we had rulers from outside. So we have become the order takers or the followers rather than natural leaders. So we do have natural leaders in our society, but mostly the entire diaspora is afraid to speak up. So fear is a very big part that guides our people. And it's not only in India and not only in the subcontinent. Fear of various forms are there present across the world. So today I thought, let me dive a little bit deeper into the emotion of fear, which is also the first emotion that hits you as resistance when you are initiating or when you are speaking about a change or initiating a vision for transformation. So let's know that part a bit. So, what is fear? It's an unpleasant feeling and it is triggered by the perception of danger. So, whenever a change is talked about in our digital world, there are some perceived dangers. Perceived dangers mean imagined. However, fear can be real as well. Say, for example, someone tells you there is a tiger outside your door. That's a very, very real and persistent danger that is outside your door. So, real dangers are the ones wherein a physical hurt or a physical damage is uh, is present. The chance of a physical damage is present. Say, for example, you have been in an accident and you are in pain. So you would be afraid of your life or maybe a broken bone. That fear is real. However, there is, and why are you afraid? Because it's not only a physical damage, you might die out of it, which is a primal fear. There, it also indicates that there might be a change in your life for which you are not ready. Which is so. This is the traumatic situation of kind of a volcano. Hence, that fear is very real and palpable. Imagined fears are mostly fears which exist only in our mind. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It cannot cause you social damage. So basically, fear is categorized into two parts, rational or real, the one where your primal fears are invoked, where there is a physical damage, and then there can be irrational or imagined fears, which are something we mostly call as phobia. Now, there are three broad categories of phobia. Sorry. So, there are three broad categories of phobias. One is social phobia, that is, you are afraid to speak out, or you are afraid of uh, uh, being in a larger community. You sit alone in a social marriage. You are not comfortable with people. A lot of times we call ourselves introverts. So it's a fear of speaking out, fear of getting judged. So these are the kinds of social phobias. I'll come a little deeper on social phobias, but for now, this is what social phobias are. Then there is something called agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is very interesting. It's a phobia of going outside. So there are people who actually believe if they go outside, they will not sustain. So that's agoraphobia. So there was a recent web series that I saw, and the main protagonist was agoraphobic. It is called The Cook of Customer. It came on Netflix, and I was very impressed in the way they have shown the fear there. So just wanted to let you know if you want to check out. And then there are specific phobias, like it can be natural, it can be from an animal or something. Say, for example, I am claustrophobic. I know it's there in my mind. It has reduced a lot, but I can't come out of it. Claustrophobia means I am scared of very dark and closed spaces. So if I'm stuck on a lift, I would start palpitating. If I'm in a car and in a very bad traffic situation, I would not be comfortable. So these are specific phobias. However, in transformations, when we are working on transformations, in the digital world, most of it, what we face as resistance, is a byproduct of the social phobias that we have. Now, let's say what are the common social fear factors that guide the resistance in the beginning of transformations or throughout transformations, even in the digital world. So one of them, everyone who has worked in the IT industry knows, fear of failure. That's the most common word we use. So what is fear of failure? We by ourselves judge ourselves so much that we are not even able to take a step forward because we think, what if this doesn't work out? Will my appraisals be hit? Will my job be insecure? Will my boss yell at me? And from this part, the psychological safety that we talk about has become a common word in our world, in the digital world. So, fear of failure is something that is very common. And what if this does not work out indicates some loss that I'm perceiving. It might not be true. Even if I fail, it is not necessary that the boss will yell at me. He might take it as a learning, but we never give the boss that chance. Say, for example, if a thing is not working, every manager that we have, mid management people that we have in the project, starts palpitating in the sense that they know that some way or the other, the entire blame will come on them. At times, it's true, honestly, because that's how the culture has evolved in that organization. But this is where we have to work and let them know that it's okay to fail. It's fine. The other one is fear of uncertainty, that I do not even know what I want. And this fear of uncertainty we have seen a lot of time when we are going for leadership coaching. Say about 3 years back, there was a client, and it was an independent financial advisor in US, and they had come and talked to us about things not working. However, the matrices were suggesting otherwise. The delivery was okay and stuff. So the explicit demand was that things are not working. It has to be better. So that was something that they were telling explicitly, and there was a lot of uncertainty in that room, in that conversations that we were having. It was very uncertain. The CIOs they were very angry, uh, and the situations that they were describing were full of the fear of uncertainty, that they did not know. They knew that things were not working, but they were not able to articulate. And that was because their implicit demands were not coming to the forefront. So it was translating to, I do not even know what I want. So this is another fear that we dealt with. So we worked with them to understand their implicit demands. And honestly, what it came out was that people were not talking, or rather, were not opening up during the retrospectives or in conversations. There was only one person within the teams who was talking. And when we went to the teams, we understood most of them were suffering from the fear of not being good enough. That if I say something, will I be judged upon? And if I say something, there is someone who may be telling it better than us. So what? It's your thought. Go ahead and tell it. This is kind of a stuff that when we went to the teams, we understood that people are not speaking out because they're afraid that they are not at par with the hero of the team. It was not the problem of the hero of the team. It was not. He was doing good for the team only. He was trying to present everyone's case. But the others were so shaken or so worshipping the hero, uh, that they themselves started feeling low, and hence were not talking out. So fear of not being good enough is something that guides the very nascent teams who are going through agile or a delivery transformation. So that is the mindset that we have to work with, so that everybody feels that whatever I'm saying is good enough, because it's good enough for me. It did not be good enough for everybody, because no one here is to judge you. That judgment, that self judgment that we do, and we put ourselves in a position, we put ourselves in a fix. It's no one else will be doing that to you. Then there is fear of looking bad. So I have seen, and honestly, that hurts me a lot. That speaking good English is kind of a ask that we all put ourselves into. And a person who is not from an English medium background, and I've seen it within teams, and uh, it is a very common occurrence. Uh, so there was one person, I'll not name that person. He was from a Bengali medium background, and he was from a village. He was a brilliant developer, brilliant. Honestly, he was a brilliant developer, but he would never speak out in the calls. No, not in the uh, daily stand-ups, not in the retrospectives, not in the review. Even when his things are getting presented, someone else is presenting it. So, but when he's speaking outside those calls, and in my experience, I've only worked with US clients. So these teams were all working with US clients. Uh, but when this person was talking outside those calls, he was very, very eloquent uh, in vernacular or mixed languages, and he was very eloquent of what he's trying to do. He knew what he was trying to do. So what I did was I sat with him a little and trying to understand. And what I felt was that he felt that if he's speaking in broken English, he would look bad in front of the client. Again, that is there in his mind. There are there are multiple clients within the client organization who speak, I won't say broken English or something, but accented English. So I showed him an interview from Jack Ma. And I said, if this person can build Alibaba, go to a public stage and speak, look at his confidence. He knows his stuff. And then slowly we started working on how he can present. So that was a separate story. We'll not get in there. But the fear that was there was fear of looking bad. So there are a few basic reactions to fear. Now, whatever I described so far, the examples that I took, when I delved deeper into fear, I understood there are some basic reactions to fear. And as human beings, we take the shortest route to success because that gives us our uh, maximum good feeling. We all strive for good feelings. No one wants to feel bad. So if you are able to understand the shortest route of success, then we take that instantly because that gives us a quick win. For example, when I was in class 12, I was always lagging behind in studies. So I would wait for the bell to ring because the moment the bell rang, it meant that the next question that the teacher asked might not have me as uh, the person to answer. So my shortest route to success was hearing the bell. And whenever I heard the bell, I was always exhilarated. And that is because I was taking the reaction of flight to my condition. So whenever So the shortest route to success, mostly when we are reacting to fear, is fight or flight. Either we face an absolutely resistive team who says that how come you are telling us that our delivery model is wrong? You go to a team which has been delivering in waterfall wrong, and you tell them that we will start working on agile ways. They will come and say, who told you that our uh, delivery model is wrong? We have been delivering at sustained pace. We know what we are doing. The customer is happy, the product is happy, the market is happy, everyone is happy in the world. Yet the leadership wants us to change. So they fight with you. So there is a lot of resistance. And that's just a basic reaction to the fear of change, nothing else. Because they are unable to envision, maybe the communication or the vision has not percolated to that level, wherein they understand that the change will impact their lives in a positive way, that there will be a business growth, there would be some rewards and recognitions aligned to that change. So they fight, so they become resistant. And the other is flight. There are people who would say, yeah, we will do agile, we will do agile. And then they would start procrastinating for time immemorial. They are not resistive, they won't show resistance at your face, but they won't even do that. And I believe these are common situations that we have all faced when we are dealing with teams or uh, product management groups who have been writing the product requirements in a certain way for a long. For example, if someone is trying to introduce TDD into the workflow, the first thing the developer comes and says that, why do I need to write unit test cases first? Let me code, I have to deliver. Unit test cases can come later. So these are the things that we face. And that's okay, because these are their basic reactions to change. We have to understand and empathize with that. Because until and unless we are empathizing with the team, you do not have the trust of the team to move forward. The other basic reaction to fear is freezing. Like something has happened and you don't know what to do. So it's completely a shutdown of emotions. You start justifying whatever is being done to you. Okay. So that's the condition. I will not delve further here because, in the interest of time. However, where I want to take you is that there is a basic reaction to fear which is uh, driven by courage, which is one of the values in our delivery systems, which is facing the fear, getting connected to that emotion, and making sure that we are coming up with mitigation plans so that we are able to preserve and we are able to move forward. So, from these basic reactions of fight and flight, as coaches, as leaders, if you are able to move to a place where we are engaging and attracting and engaging with the conditions to build a new uh, scenario for us, facing it is something that we should look forward to. So, from fight or flight to face, as leaders, what are the ways we can do it? Now, if you notice that if you are hearing uh, a drama, and if you're seeing the same drama, hearing and seeing the same drama, it has two different uh, outcomes. So, audio visual is supposed to be the most effective way your memory retains something. So, when we are trying to move our teams from a fight or flight situation to facing the change and growing with it, we might try to build a uh, film for them by asking the solutions from, like when we are trying to get the solutions from them, we have to build the film for them that they can see. So the vision has to translate into audio visual for them. How do you do that? You start with the feeling. What are they feeling? What are the things that they think will happen if this change, goal, or problem is addressed? What are the things that they feel? Let them listen now, let them see it. Then also let them visualize, why is it important? Why does someone think it's important to solve this problem or have this change? So, on one side, when they have already identified their feelings, they're also trying to identify the importance of the change. And with the importance of the change, they are also starting, when you are having that conversation and you are trying to understand the importance that they have in their mind versus what has been communicated, and trying to bridge that, they have also already started, the communications have already started in the background, right? Because this is not one conversation you can achieve with it. There would be multiple conversations that is required. And once those communications get clearer and the importance is visible, the importance meaning the benefits of it is visible to the to your coachee or the coaching team, then you talk to them about what are the blockades. So they have already started seeing a small film building up in their minds, because they have associated a feeling, they have associated a benefit. Then you start delving into their fears when you talk about their blockades. And since they have already seen the benefits, ask them what will happen if things never change, if it remains the same. Make them think that how things will be valuable for them if there is a change. And that is, again, once they have understood the blockades, and they are trying to visualize what it will be if it never changes, reinforce the benefits of the change. And as I said, uh, that everything that we do, we try to take the shortest road to success. So if you give them a big action item list, it is already a no-no for them, because they know they cannot reach that destination fast. So small steps are the ones that we should guide them towards, and that the change, so that the change feels safe for them and it's easy to attain. So if they're able to have small gains, small wins, it will boost their confidence, and the overall film would start becoming a blockbuster. So if we want teams to move from a fight or flight situation to facing the situation, it can be teams, it can be individuals. This is a probable way or pathway that you can work on their mindsets, uh, to bring that film out of their minds, which shows all benefits to them. Now let's move. So there is one very important agile value that I relate to when I'm thinking of taking a person from a flight or flight situation to a facing the situation kind of a stuff.
Hi,
So
Pauline, just to update you, we have 6 minutes left to close the session. Just a heads up.
I'm sure it would I would end before that, so not to
Yep.
worry. Give me that time. Thank you so much. So these images, if you look at it, it delves into looking into so there is a huge part or huge backdrops, but they are focusing on a very concentrated part. The agile value of focus is a very, very important thing that we need to instill or inculcate in our teens in order to make fear look like a bunny or a teddy bear. So their fear to change would become, if you are able to move their fear, which is a negative emotion, to a focus, which is a positive emotion, then the change would look like a teddy bear to them, which they want to achieve. To do that, let me tell you a small story. So, do you know this person? This person is Demosthenes. Actually, he was a Greek orator, but life had not been easy for him. He was orphaned at the age of 7, and all his inheritance had gone to three legal guardians. But even during that time, people were not honest. So they inappropriated those funds, and he was in a very dire state. And the only way he could get justice was if he could get to a gymnasium where they fight it out, or he could go to the legal courts of Greece at that point of time. In both these cases, this child was impaired. First of all, he was a physiologically very weak in structure, so gymnasium was ruled out. Being a legal orator needed a refinement of speech and thoughts. Demosthenes suffered from uh, speech impairment, what we call as he used to stammer, and that was looked down as a sign of being an idiot during that time. But his vision was very clear. He wanted to get justice. So, but he was afraid to speak out because he stammered. No one would take him seriously. What he did was he went to an underground cave and started practicing on speech. Now, when he was doing that, he realized that he had to really focus on what he is doing. So, to avoid going into public, which would be a form of distraction from him, he shaved off half of his head, brought a mirror, put pebbles under his tongue, and continued practicing for long hours without break. He read many books. He built an underground library for that. He had help from few other folks as well, which resulted that at age of 21, he successfully went to a Greek court of law and won back his inheritance, which was part of the justice. And then everyone knows that went on to become the greatest orators of Greece of that time. So his fear of speaking out got transformed into being an orator because he put focus on achieving that feat. So, as Mark Twain would say, focus more on your desire, here the desire for change, than your doubt, meaning the doubt of whether the change will work for me or not, the fear of change. So, work on your doubt, focus on your desire, work on your doubt, and the dream will take care of itself. Whatever we achieve is a byproduct of how we focus on our desire, and that is what transformation is all about. We have to make people move from their doubts, make roads clearer for them, coach them by associating their feelings, their way of thoughts into the benefits of the change, and realize their dreams, make the dream possible for them. And with this, I would like to end this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Polemy. It was a wonderful session. And in the interest of time, we won't be able to take the question, but we will take those questions offline with you. And we'll hope to see some answers and we'll share with the participants. Thank you once again, Polemy.
Thank you.